Allie from Allie's Best, and today I am going to tell you what not to say to Jews of color. Hi, yes, believe it or not, I'm Allie from Allie's Best, and I am Black and Jewish. And I know exactly what you're gonna say. Allie, you don't look Black. And I'm gonna tell you, I know that's not what you were thinking. So, part of what I wanna do on this channel is talk about Jewish life and talk about Jewish content and talk about my path with Judaism and what that looks like in my life as a married person with a baby in this world. But I don't feel like I could have that conversation honestly and openly without first telling you a little bit about my experience as a Jew of color. Really, I want to give you the tools to help you, especially the Jewish community, be as welcoming as possible to Jews of color. Because while I have had non-Jews say these things to me, for the most part, everything from this list is something that a Jewish person has said to me, another Jewish person. So we are just gonna dive in to things you should stop saying to Jews of color. The first thing I want to tell you is that if you are at some kind of Jewish event, bar bat mitzvah, Yom Kippur, anything, Hanukkah party, whatever it is, it's a Jewish event and you see someone who's not white, don't go up to that person and ask, hey, are you Jewish? I think it hurts no one, and it is totally safe to assume that that person who is there is Jewish. And like, if they're not Jewish, who cares? Like, I would rather look at someone and be like, yo, I don't care whether or not they're Jewish, because I don't want to go the additional step of offending them by asking if that person here on Yom Kippur is Jewish, because chances are they're Jewish. What that tells them is that you saw them from across the room and you've decided that their look isn't Jewish enough and doesn't fit your definition of what Jewish is. And yes, Bowie's here on the playmat and you're gonna hear her, and that's life. And I am telling you guys, these things have happened to me. This is my life. After you ask the person if they are Jewish and they say yes, the next thing not to do is laugh. I would say maybe the number one reaction to me telling people I am Jewish is first them laughing. And I don't think I really need to explain why that's incredibly rude. Sorry, I'm remembering, and so I'm getting angry. But let me pack that away. I'll deal with it later. Please do not tell people of color once you realize they are Jewish, really? You know, you don't look Jewish. One, in our society, how many freaking times do you think that person has had to hear that? I'm gonna be so upfront with you guys. Someone in my community found out that my daughter, Bowie, who's not even fully 3 months yet, is Jewish, and someone said that to my daughter. Really? She doesn't look Jewish. It's like, she barely looks like a human being right now, and like, why are you saddling her with that? Not to mention, if you know anything about history, like, where did the original Jews come from? The Jews come from the Middle East. And when we're talking about like biblical Middle Eastern Jews, we are probably talking about people who look more like me than they do someone who is Eastern European. The other thing I really want to say, and it will come up again, is that Judaism is a religion. We don't think of one way to look if you're a Christian person. Granted, it's a way bigger religion. Judaism is a strong and great but small religion. We are fewer in numbers, but we are not fewer in ethnic diversity. And it should be no question that there are Jews of multiple different, beautiful, colorful backgrounds. There isn't a way to look Jewish. And when you ask me that, it makes you look small-minded. It makes me feel like you're trying to discount my Judaism and make me feel like less of a Jew. And that's not nice to do. I feel like I need to remind you guys, like, people have asked me this. And I'm 30, so I'm an adult now, but like, these are all things so far that have been asked of me my whole entire life. Okay, as I've told you, Bowie's already getting comments and she's not even 3 months. The next one is, when did you convert? And this goes back to the you don't look Jewish idea. The concept that in order to be a non-white Jew, you must have converted means that you fully do not understand the basic premise of our religion, which is that if you want to put in the work, anyone can become a Jew. And so once people become Jews, they are Jews without question. They are part of our community. Our ancestors are theirs. Like, we fully bring them in. And then we don't make a discussion of it. Like, you do not continually point out to someone who has converted that they have converted. There's something in the Talmud that like specifically says that you're not supposed to embarrass people about their having converted. So there's like two issues here. One, someone can be a Jew of color without converting. And two, whether they converted or not is not your business at all. At all, ever. So don't ask that question. It's incredibly rude and impolite. All of these, in fact, are incredibly rude and impolite. And once they find out that I did not convert to Judaism, the next thing I have personally been asked is, so you're Ethiopian? Or like, that's a statement. And it's like, no, you don't have to be Ethiopian to be a Black Jew. No, I'm not Ethiopian. Not even on my 23andMe am I Ethiopian. Get it together. The next thing is like a series of things I wish people would stop saying. Which one of your parents is Jewish? So you're half Jewish. And, oh, so you're Jew-ish. Again, to be a Jew of color, both of your parents can be non-white. You can have two Black parents and be a Black person yourself and still be Jewish. In my estimation of identity, religion, and ethnicities, no one has to be half anything. Even if only one of your parents identifies as being Jewish, you can also identify as being one wholly Jewish person, not half of a Jewish person. You can be both Japanese and Jewish. You can be both Puerto Rican and Jewish. You can be both Black and Jewish, or any other mixture of things. Like, you are American and Jewish. You aren't half an American and half Jewish, because there are two identities that you can hold simultaneously at once. They're like not mutually exclusive. The other thing that has really annoyed me as a Jew of color that I think a lot of us experience is people basically like take two extremes about how they feel you probably participate in Judaism. About half the people I meet assume that because I'm Black, I must not really be very active in Judaism. So if I've had people tell me, oh, so like you're Jewish, but you like didn't have a bat mitzvah or anything. You probably like don't know Hebrew. And I'm like, I mean, my Hebrew's not great at all, but I did have a bat mitzvah. I got confirmed at my synagogue. Like, I was in Jewish youth group. I went to Jewish summer camp, and like, I really shouldn't have to like read my Jewish resume to other people to prove my Jewishness to them. So like, please don't ask for that. You really don't need to know anything about me. Just like, see me in a place and be accepting and don't be weird. And if you want to meet me as a person, not as like someone you need to interview to prove their Jewishness to you. The other extreme is that people assume that, like, to make up for my race, I must then be super observant. Like, oh, to make up for the fact that you're not white, you probably keep kosher. You probably do all these other things. You probably speak Hebrew. You probably da-da-da. Because they think, like, I owe the Jewish community something for, like, being black. It is the weirdest thing. And I promise you this happens. Like, these are conversations I've had with synagogue members, with camp counselors, with other kids at camp, with other adults in my life, adults in my community. Like, and I love my Jewish community, guys, but more often than not, these comments come from other Jewish people. That's like the other thing I want to run home is, like, we are supposed to be like a whole welcoming community and family, and for the most part we are, but we need to do better in welcoming our non-white MOTs. You know what I mean? Additionally, people feel the need to make my ethnicity a joke. So people will find out that I am both black and Jewish, and after we do this whole interview game thing for other people that makes me really uncomfortable, it often ends with that person trying to tell a joke that they think is really funny about my heritage. Like, oh, you're bluish, like black and Jewish. You are a mythical creature. You're like a unicorn. People like you don't exist. Have you heard of Drake? Comments, like, some of those are benign. Then there's, like, worse comments, or, like, it feels worse to me. Things like, do you eat fried chicken on Hanukkah instead of latkes? The boy I had a crush on in middle school came up to me and said, Allie, I heard a joke just for you. And I said, oh my gosh, really? What is it? Because I had a crush on him. And he said, what did Hitler say to the black Jew? And I said, what? And the boy I had a crush on said, back of the oven. You know, I just want to conclude by saying, just keep in mind that not all Jews look the same. Not all Jews have the same background. Not all Jews need to be on exactly the same page. It's important that we are open-hearted, welcoming, kind, polite, like things that make a community strong and positive and worth being in. So I hope you have a better sense of what it's like to be a Jew of color, and I hope that, if nothing else, you can share this with someone who needs it, someone who does not know how to talk to Jews of color. And let's make our communities a fun, more safe space for everyone. All right, guys, I hope you like this video. For more Jewish or mommy or life or DIY or cleaning, I don't know, whatever I want to put out there content, go ahead and click subscribe, like this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.